All right, welcome to episode 2 of Sibling Sync with Coach G and Gizzy. And
Yeah, yeah.
we're going to get right into it because
T to the Izzy.
our Lakers did it. They went down 3-1. So I'm going to let you talk because at this point, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. You know, I watch the games. When I watch basketball on TV, it's like I'm watching it as a coach, not as a fan. And for some reason, JJ Redick has disappointed me. He's had his moments where he's been on point, but for the most part, he's disappointed me. And I know the Lakers won 50 games this year, which is phenomenal for a rookie coach. But the things that as a coach, let go is just mind boggling to me. Because basketball is a team sport, right?
Yes.
So
And
you
how many
can't
players you got on
have,
the bench?
uh,
How many players you got on the bench besides the 5 on the court?
you probably have 7 or 8 guys on the bench, depending. Um, yeah, but JJ for some reason don't get it because you can't have LeBron James and Luca on your team and struggle to win on the road. It's been like this all season long. The Lakers struggle to win on the road.
But
And
my
when you have a guy like Luca, who is a generational talent, when you have LeBron, you should be able, with LeBron's experience, you should be able to pull out these games on the road.
I
And
think they could have.
I
They
know,
could have last night.
I
But you
know,
know why they didn't? And you hit it. As a coach, JJ let everybody down. Because look, I'm 10 years older than LeBron. But I remember what happened to my body when I turned 40.
mhm,
It started to decline. And I
yeah,
don't care how good he is and how well he takes care of himself and all that. As you get older, your body takes longer to bounce back.
it does. That's a fact.
You do not play LeBron the whole second
Second
half
half,
of that game.
and that's why
You
for
sat Vandy, you sat and here's my thing. You brought back Dalton Connect because you guys were so afraid you were giving up this talent
yes,
that you rescinded the
the
trade,
trade. Yep.
okay? Because Luca wanted a lob threat. You rescinded that trade and you brought back Dalton Connect. So guess what? Play him. You have Vanderbilt, you have Gabe Vincent sitting on the bench, and you
Yeah.
don't play them in the second half,
Well, yeah,
and
that's
you
just
killed your status. Jackson Hayes did not touch a ball in the second half.
that's a
That
fact.
is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, this one's on JJ, man, because I think we have the talent to get past Minnesota. I really think we do. But the
I mean, we
coach
lost by what? 1 point? Well, 3 points. Sorry,
three,
it was a 3 pointer.
the
But that's
coaching,
it.
yeah, the coaching has let me down. Has let a lot of Laker fans down. So I want to see what kind of game plan he comes up with in the next game.
Well, I also say Shannon kind of gave us. Shannon kind of jinxed us when he said Lakers in 5. Said USA Lakers in 5, right? KFC, UFC,
Uh-huh.
Lakers in 5. I think we kind of have to hope now Lakers in 7. Hoping that they can pull out one at home,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
some rest, and go back to Minnesota and do it again.
Yeah.
That's a tough ask. But
Yeah.
if they really, really have the pride that I'm hoping that this team is going to play with,
Yeah.
then I think maybe they will pull out one at home. I don't see them going 4-1. I see it going 4-2 at least. But we have to hope they can pull out one at home and take it back to Minnesota and
Correct.
hope
Correct.
for hope for the best. And
I.
I'll tell you what, the other thing I have is we
Mhm.
had two games yesterday that ended where the NBA comes back and says, "Hey, our refs messed up.
Yeah.
They missed this."
Yes.
That's unacceptable.
In that Detroit New York game, that's yeah, that's another game that went down to the wires. Um, I mean, for that game, I could definitely say yeah, the refs the refs caused Detroit that game, no doubt about it. Um, but the Lakers game, I blame JJ. I blame the coaching.
Well, yes, yes, yes. They were
So
tired. They were winded. I saw Luca was winded about midway through the third.
yeah,
He was bending over, trying to get trying to get another win. Uh, when
yeah,
they
that's
started the
tough.
fourth, when they started the fourth, LeBron was walking, and from the time he starts walking back up, that's it. He's winded. He's
Yeah,
tired. You got to
and
pull him
and
from
these are
the game.
these are high pressure moments.
Yeah, you got. But when they went up, now don't get me wrong. LeBron has his share of blame for the second quarter where he threw back to back to back passes. Not just
Mhm.
LeBron, but LeBron and Luca did one. LeBron did one.
Yeah,
LeBron did two. Where they threw these cross court or long distance passes, and three times the ball went back to Minnesota because
yep.
they
Turnovers,
tell us
stupid,
they telegraphed it, and those were three stupid
stupid turnovers.
turnovers.
Those are the ones
Uh,
that I hate. And
um,
and with LeBron's experience, he should know better.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, it
Those
was
those
frustrating.
those were hard. Those were hard.
It was
And so
frustrating.
instead of going up by 15 because you ran down, you got a steal, and you threw it away. So they
Yeah,
came back and took two. You got the ball back, and you went and made the same mistake all over again. I was
yep,
like, come on, man. It's seven
yeah,
points, 7 points off that. I mean, but when they were up 10 in the third, that was when JJ needed to give Luca and LeBron. Well, mainly LeBron. Luca is 25. He should be able to
LeBron
to
for sure.
withstand that.
LeBron for sure should
But
have had.
LeBron for sure
Yes,
should have been on the
I
bench,
I
and
agree.
you should have saved his body for that fourth quarter, knowing that and putting some trust in Vanderbilt and Vincent to kind of carry your team then.
Vanderbilt should have definitely been on the court because he can guard Anthony Edwards,
Yeah,
and Anthony Edwards was going off, and I'm like, you got to put
throw,
Vando in
throw,
the game.
throw different looks at him.
Exactly, exactly.
Throw different looks at him.
Yep,
Wear him down.
yep.
But
And that's why I blame JJ yesterday, man.
so we got the Cavs up when I left at halftime to run tonight.
Uh-huh.
It was 63-23. The
Oh, the
the
Cavs blew them out.
Cavaliers were, yeah. So I left and I figured the rest of the game was going to be
Yeah,
garbage time. So I didn't even bother going
it,
back to check the scores.
yeah. It pretty much was garbage time, and I'm kind of surprised with the Miami Heat
Why?
because I always thought like Miami is like a greedy team, greedy organization. You know, Spoelstra is a greedy coach. So when I see them getting blown out the way they got blown out tonight at home, that's really disappointing. I was stunned.
Well, look at it. Look at it like this. Um, they they lost Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, he was a heart and soul,
Exactly.
no
And
doubt.
sometimes just like they kept Haslam, and some of these folks are there not because they give you uh 40 minutes a night.
Mm,
Some of them are there to hype your team up.
true.
Some of them they're that noise in that air for that younger player. Hey man, because I look at my kids,
Mm,
and so many times I'll tell my son, the 15-year-old, one thing, and I say, Kyrian, do it this way.
yeah.
You won't listen to me. All it takes is 10 minutes, and one of his friends say the exact same thing that I just said. Maybe he said it a different way, but it's the exact same thing I just told you to do.
Yeah,
But he received that.
that's
And so
right.
sometimes Jimmy Butler being on that bench, or that veteran being on that bench, is not for the sake of taking up playing time as
Correct.
much as they're that player coach that you need.
Yes. Yes.
And
Absolutely.
Miami lost that. Who you listening to? Tyler Hero?
No.
Bam Adebayo? I
He,
mean, I like Bam. I
I
like his
like.
game.
Yeah, I
I
like
like
Bam
Tyler
too.
Hero. I mean, he has emerged into a better um, player than I expected. But because I really thought it was going to be a one-off, with his play that season. But who are the young guys listening to? Because
Yeah, they don't have
that's what
that.
we have on that team.
They don't have that.
And
As
and and that Miami Heat culture,
yeah,
what they
yeah,
say. I mean, yeah, it's just that, right? Heat culture, because you, you don't have it no more.
yeah, yeah.
And sometimes it's okay to be stuck in your ways, but
Pat Riley
and
gonna have to hit the reset button.
he needs to retire.
That too.
I love the man. I mean, I'm a Pat Riley fan from the
Yes,
Lakers,
yes, of course, of course.
but as much as I love him, at some point,
Yeah,
you have to retire.
might be
You
time to
gotta
pass
let it
that baton.
go. Yes, I think Spoelstra would be the next logical
Mhm.
GM
Yeah,
VP for them, but
yep, I agree.
we'll see. Kind of how the Celtics did with Brad Stevens.
That's
Remember
right.
the
He
Celtics?
went
The
from
Celtics.
coach
He went from coach over,
to up.
and he hasn't let down, because look at the Celtics now and what they're doing to Orlando.
I know, I know. They're just a
So
well-run program right now. They got the right players, the right coaches, the right attitude, and they're playing as a team. So
yeah,
they're gonna be tough to beat. As much as I hate to say, as a Lakers fan, as much as I hate to say, but the Celtics, like they're on the right track, you know.
funny
So
funny story. All right. So
mm,
growing up in the Caribbean, we always watched the Lakers and the Celtics. I mean, that's who was in 76ers. And I picked my colors. Purple and gold was mine. And
yep.
we had a lot. I had a lot of friends that were Celtics fans, and um, a few Bulls fans in between.
Mm-hmm.
So my stepdad, when he migrated to the U.S., actually lived in Boston.
Oh, okay.
So it was funny because I'd be up there for the summer, and I couldn't stand Larry Bird or Kevin McHale. Man, I'm up there just going, I hate the Celtics. And,
I know, right?
and I'm in Boston saying this, right? Never supported the Celtics. Um, and so it's always funny when I sit back and look at the circle of how I am where I'm at. And I could never, ever support a New England team, not the Patriots. They don't know. The Bruins come up when they played the Caps here. I went to see the game. We got tickets to that game,
Yeah.
and I was all capped out. I couldn't tell you what they were doing down there because we were up in a suite and it was looking down at the park. But I tell you what, I was screaming my head off because I am just an anti thing. But I
Yep.
gotta give Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown their credit.
Uh, yeah.
They are
They're the real
playing.
deal. They're the real
They are
deal.
playing.
No doubt. And they have a
They,
good coach.
yes.
Yep.
So what do you think is going to happen to the Bucks now? I mean, I feel for Dame.
Wow. Yeah. Without Dame, they're toast.
Well, we knew that, but when he came back, I saw hope.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
hope. I
Cause
saw I
Dame is
saw a
still
series.
yeah, Dame is still a threat on the basketball court. But it's tough, seeing him, get carried off the court like that, man. Cause you want your best players on the court in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and as great as Giannis is,
He can't
he
do it
just
alone.
he just can't do it by himself.
He can't do it alone.
He tried to put that team on his on his back, and it's just not enough.
No, um, I don't even. Everybody seems to think he's going to leave. I just,
I'll take him on the Lakers.
I think he would be awesome on the Lakers with,
Get LeBron out of
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Have it be a Luca, Giannis.
Luka Giannis.
Bring in,
I think I'd have to take a trip to LA just to go to a game
but of course,
for that one.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I
I
feel
don't know.
sorry for the Bucks, man. Tough, but
Yeah,
that's how it is.
that's a hard
How,
one. That's a hard
yeah,
one. And injuries happen, right? You
that's how it
know,
is in
it's
sports.
part of the
Injuries
game. It's
happen.
part of the game.
That's right. Next man up.
Yep.
The thing is, they don't have the talent for the next man up, scenario. You could easily say next man up, but if you didn't have the talent, it means
Well, you
nothing.
think they lost one to the Celtics last year,
Mm.
and then they lost what was his name? Lucas Giannis is just like that. His name went out of my head. Uh, I mean, it was really the two of them for the longest, and
Oh,
they this year. I don't
Singleton,
know
I think
why.
his name is.
I don't know why his name went out of my head, but he went left, and so it was Dame and Giannis's turn to kind of do something, but you still need that supporting role, and
Yeah.
uh,
Well, that's why they went and got Kyle Kuzma,
yeah,
but
but
he's just
Kuz has
disappointed.
yeah, it's been a disappointing playoffs for him.
Yeah.
I feel I kind of feel like when you play in DC, and nothing against my DC team because I live here, so
Hmm.
That's who I got to go see sometimes. Um,
You got
um,
You got Jordan Poole.
yeah, there's a reason Golden State got rid of Jordan Poole.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
there's a reason.
Yep.
Um, but you know, there's a reason why people come to Washington, and the Wizards make them look like superstars, and they look like superstars because there's nobody else on that team.
True.
And I watched when they got rid of Rui Hachimura. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad Rui's on the Lakers because Rui, for the most part, has been what I expected from him.
Mm-hmm.
Some days he's on 100%,
Yeah.
and other days you're gonna take what you get from him. Okay, but you watch Bradley Beal. I mean, Bradley Beal. Well, you got to start with John Wall because that's who
Yeah.
was there when I,
That's
you
right.
start with John Wall.
That's
He
right.
was a shell of himself by the time he left the Wizards.
Yes.
Didn't do anything.
Injuries were a part of that too.
Yep, Bradley Beal. But that's because they're carrying so much load for the Wizards that by the time they get to a contender, they're beat up and they're
Yeah.
burnt out
Yeah. That's another organization that has some, rebuilding to do, you
a
know,
lot,
from the top
a lot,
down.
a lot. Um, and I feel like the stars that come here, their star shines even brighter because they're in DC and there's nobody else starring on that team, so they look like
That's right.
superstars.
Yep.
They're really just that star, not that superstar that you thought they were.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's tough watching, teams year after year just struggle. You know, I say to myself, who's running these organizations that year after year after year, you know, they have a
They're at the
losing
bottom.
record.
Yeah,
I'm like, is there any accountability?
not in DC. I tell you what, and the Caps may be different because they seem to be a better run organization, and I'm hoping that with the I mean, we saw the change last year with the Commanders, soon to be the Redskins again,
Yes,
with the new leadership and
yes,
where they ended up in the playoffs and how they looked, and they had a pretty decent draft. So I'm hoping that they continue to grow and they continue to shine in DC. But the Nats, they won that World Series, and it seemed like after that it's been downhill from there.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the Wizards, I mean, since John Wall and Beal played their last game together, it's been, let's just hope we can make a first round or a playing game and be done. That's it. It's like that's the goal for the whole franchise. And
yeah, yeah. My thing is the fan base though. The fan base suffers. You
yeah,
know,
and look,
when
my office, my headquarters for my company is literally around the corner from Capital One Arena.
oh wow,
So when we leave work and you see the sea of red or the sea of blue or whatever it is going into the game,
yeah,
like people are there to support. And I watch the Caps run right now because they're in the playoffs and
that's
everything.
right.
Let me tell you, don't let game day be in DC because I don't want to go that way. I work on the outskirts. Tara unfortunately has to go in, so she sees everything, but it's like, oh, the Caps are playing. You don't want to come down here today.
Yeah,
That's the report
yep,
because the fans are loyal as they
that's right.
come.
And
They
you
are
have
loyal as they come.
and you have a generational player like Ovechkin. That's
Oh yeah.
the fans want to
Oh
watch
yeah.
him,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
so that helps.
And don't get me wrong, they'll do it for whoever. Because even when the Wizards were losing
Oh,
this year, you still had packed games. Now, true enough, when the Lakers come into town, it's a Laker town.
of course,
But that's everywhere. I lived
right?
in Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta, and I came into a Laker game at halftime because I couldn't get parking. So by the time I parked halfway across town and walked back from the parking lot, it was halftime of the game,
Yeah,
and there were more Laker fans in the seat than there were Hawks fans at the time, so you know
Yeah,
it's wherever you go. But
yeah. The Lakers is an
the fans,
international
the
brand.
fans, the fans in DC are loyal as they come, and I just feel like for basketball, for baseball, I would love to see them put out a better product like what the Caps are trying to do, what
Yeah,
the uh,
it
Commanders are
starts.
doing.
Yeah, it starts at the top.
I mean, even DC United has come in and won, you know, soccer. The women, this DC Spirit won. You know, we have they
Yeah,
have good teams in
yeah,
DC, even if they don't promote them as much and stuff. And the fans are loyal; they will support their DC teams. I just
yeah.
want to see those franchises do something else.
I agree.
Well, the Thunder have moved on. They're resting.
Yeah, they're a juggernaut. Those guys, they play both sides of the ball at a high level. They're tough.
They are. They are. I mean, first team to advance, sweep, and I feel like the Jaw game that he got injured
Mm,
hurt hurt the Grizzlies because they were up. They were up by 29 points. And I think if Ja was still there, I don't think the Grizzlies lose that game.
I
And,
agree.
I think the Thunder just kind of seized the moment, and it was just too much.
Yeah,
And then coming back the next game was
they
just
stole their soul. That game was like, yeah, that just crushed them.
yeah, 29 points is that was rough. That was rough.
Yep.
I don't know that anybody was coming back from that, and man,
Yeah. Yeah. OKC is they're just too tough. They're just a well-run team, well-coached team. Um, yeah, they're tough to beat.
yeah. I have been I've been trying to find something in their game that I could say, you know what, if you hit this, maybe you can beat them. And it's everybody. It's everybody. And you remember that veteran present I told you about, uh, Alex Caruso.
Yeah,
Alex Caruso. He's that voice in those young guys' ear,
he is. He is, and he's a
and
dog.
he's a dog.
Yeah,
And so
he.
they see it. He leads
Yeah.
by example, right?
Yep.
And
Exactly.
I mean, SGA,
Yeah.
home Chet. I
I
mean,
mean,
they're all just
in every
they're all
aspect of the
playing ball.
game, yeah, they play at a high level, man, on both sides of the ball. Defensively, they lock you down. And offensively, they got Shea and they got 3-point shooters around him. Yeah, they're just tough to beat. They finish well around the hoop. The coach, he drops some nice plays for them. They're just tough to beat, man.
I don't know. I Even if everybody kept saying that the Clippers could give them trouble. I don't see it. I don't see it. And the way the Lakers, I think the only team right now,
Mm,
based on how everybody's playing, that could give them maybe a little bit of trouble is Minnesota.
yeah, I agree.
Is Minnesota. I
Yep,
mean, Ant would have to keep playing the way he's playing now because he can't go back to what he did throughout the season, which was up one game, down one game,
true.
lackadaisical other games. He'd have to play how he's playing now.
Yeah, he's locked
But
in. He's locked in.
but
He's on a mission.
yeah, in terms of who's gonna who could give them a run, that's the only people I see in the West. Because as much as I would love my Lakers to come out of it and say they made it to the next round, they're not. They're not beating the. They're not beating the Thunder.
No.
They're not beating the Thunder.
Yeah, the Thunder. Yeah, they're the cream of the crop in the Western Conference, man. So
So I have a question for you.
talk
You're
to
the
me.
Cali. You're the Cali man.
I got an answer for you.
You got an answer for me? What do you think's gonna happen to Golden State after this?
uh wow. It depends on who they play next round. I still think they're overachieving,
I do too,
in
but
my humble
it's
opinion.
working.
Even it is working, even with Steph doing what they do. I'm surprised to see Jimmy playing tonight. I thought he was hurt, but Jimmy Butler is playing tonight. Um,
That's what the great ones do. They
yeah,
play hurt.
yeah, and they're down right now by 3 in the second quarter. Yeah, I still think Golden State is with Steph Curry. I mean, you never know, but I don't see them winning a championship this year. As good
I
as
know,
Steph is, and as good as Jimmy Butler is,
but I feel like I love Draymond. I like
he's a dog.
he's a dog. He's his zest, his love of the game.
Yep,
His
yep,
defense is unstoppable. When he's locked in and he's playing defense any
yeah,
day,
yep,
but he's getting old and he can't do it all season.
yeah.
So
The one person on Golden State that I would love to see take his game to a next level is Jonathan Kuminga, and he is like, I I can't get a grasp, on what he's doing on the court sometimes. So he's the one person I think could be an X factor for Golden State.
I agree.
Yep. What else you got?
Well, I was uh, I was just looking at the slate of games, and
Uh huh.
looking at where everything stands, and just shaking my head. Who you got out of Denver and the Clippers?
I had the Clippers winning that series. I'm surprised it's what tied at 2 right now, but I had the Clippers winning that series.
Why?
And the way they lost, was it yesterday or the day before? The way they lost,
Yeah,
with a putback dunk.
I'm telling
That,
you,
that's a that's a tough way to
they're looking
lose.
they're looking at that footage again. I mean,
Yeah, that,
really, I'm just gonna be real. The officiating, the reviews, stuff like some of it have just been suspect, and it's across the board. It's
it
not just
is.
one team. It's not
I
just one
agree.
team. They have been really, really bad with just some of the small things that they call. And
Yeah. Well, the thing about playoff basketball, the refs normally let them play, so there's a lot of physicality in the playoffs. But some of the stuff is just egregious. You have to call it.
exactly,
So
exactly. Call the call. I mean, there's like I know Luca and LeBron complain a lot.
yes, they do.
I get it. I get it. any ref is gonna be mad the whole game because the whole game, Luca is. At one point I was like, just play the game, Luca. They're gonna call it if you just play the game.
Yep. Yep.
But some of the fouls on that weren't called on them, you could tell some of them were like blatant. You're like, dang. I mean,
Yeah.
even the one with the push behind LeBron's neck. I was sitting here going, that it shouldn't have got to that.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have
Yeah.
got to that. The refs could have eliminated some of that chippiness
That's right.
before.
That's right.
And I feel like they've gotten away with it throughout the playoffs. Not Minnesota, but a lot of these teams, even the Rockets,
It's been
and how
across the
they
board. It's been
and
across the
how they've
board.
played certain games. I'm like, when Uwe Doke saying, just play, the ref's not gonna call it, and they catch you saying it in the. I mean, dang, come on, man.
I know. I know. Yeah,
But he's right. They're not gonna call it.
my thing is, I don't mind the physical play. You want to play physical, but don't play dirty. And
Yeah,
there's been some like dirty stuff going on in these playoffs, and the refs are letting it go. And I'm like, come on, you got to blow the whistle. And I'm the type of coach. I want them to play. I want to see, I want the guys to figure it out on the court and play, and play hard. But some of the fouls is like you have to call that. You just have to call it. So it's tough. It's tough on the refs.
so it's funny you said Kaminga for. I said let me just look up his stats in the playoffs.
Uh
He's only averaging 9 points though, and they've only played in 2 games,
yeah,
which is crazy because last year he played more.
with his talent, he should be anywhere from 15 to 20 points a game, you know, to kind of offset what Steph and Jimmy's gonna do, and put and Draymond. I look at Kaminga to be that X factor, and
I
I'm
mean,
still
like I said,
puzzled.
they didn't play him game one,
Yeah, I know.
and he's 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists in
Yeah,
21 minutes.
that was Steve Kerr sending him a message in game one. But yeah, he
I don't
have the
know.
talent. He have the talent.
I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be. I don't know if he's gonna be there with them uh, next year if he keeps on. Kerr will get rid of you in a minute now.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He's a hard
the
nosed
core,
coach.
besides the core of of Steph and Draymond. I don't think
Yep.
anybody's really and Looney. Surprisingly, I don't think there's too many people that are safe. Okay,
That is what?
that's safe.
True, true. Steve Kerr's a hard nosed coach, man. He don't take no BS.
So I thought of something that we could talk about, and I said everybody has beat it to death,
Uh
but
huh.
I wanted to hear your thoughts on Shadow Sanders and his drop in the NFL draft
Oh wow.
this week.
That's a good one. That was actually something I had in for my just my thoughts segment tonight. Um, and it might be a little controversial though. So buckle up for safety.
For safety. Well, I tell you what, just go ahead and give us your thoughts there, Coach G. I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm going to. go ahead and give you the floor.
Yeah, once again, these are just my thoughts, my humble opinion, presented to you by genius minds. And this one is going to be a little controversial, but it's my opinion, it's my thoughts as to why Shadur Sanders' historic drop in the 2025 NFL draft. I think this is an indictment on Deion Sanders. This has nothing to do with Shadur Sanders. And it tells me that there's a race element to this, which a lot of people is not talking about. But I'm going to talk about it because these are just my thoughts. This is about billionaires, rich white men, billionaire owners, general managers that's trying to send a message to Deion Sanders, a black man. Not prime time, not Deion Sanders, the former football player. No, this is a message for Deion Sanders, the black man, that we, the rich white owners in the NFL, we run this ship. And when Deion said that if Shador get drafted by certain teams, he's not down with that. He's not allowing it. That rubbed a lot of the owners and general managers the wrong way. And they wanted to send Deion Sanders, the black man, a message to let him know we still run this ship, this NFL ship, this $1 billion NFL ship. And that's why Shador, in my humble opinion, fell so far in the draft. Had nothing to do with Shador. It's all about these rich white men trying to send a message to Deion Sanders and potentially others to let them know we still run this. And I feel bad for Shador. But I think he's going to go to Cleveland and beat those QBs out and make a name for himself. He still has that opportunity. He still has that chance. But that's how I felt when I saw what was transpiring the other night with none of these guys, these GMs or owners picking Shador. Not even in the second round. I'm like, are you kidding me? But it is what it is. And these are just my thoughts.
Well, well, well. Could not have said it any better. Um, I thought about it as I saw him slide, and I was just like, you know what? This has stopped being about how he played or what he's lacking in arm strength and stuff like that. And Um, this is just, when Dion went on, um, uh, and they were talking to him, and he said, "Well, that's my son. That's, if he gets drafted by a team, and that, that's my son. Why wouldn't I? And
Yeah. Yeah.
the funny thing is, we sit here and, there's nepotism through the NFL. Look at, I mean, look, Shanahan is
That's a
great,
fact.
but he didn't get his start because he was great. He got his start because of his dad.
His dad, of
And you
course.
and you can go on through a few other coaching and stuff like that. So
And
so
if you
you know,
think back, Eli Manning, his dad
well,
did the
yeah,
same
that's where I
thing
was
years
going.
ago.
Yes, yes. Nobody says anything about Eli or Peyton or whatever when they, Texas, the Arch Manning, the young one, who, I can't
Yes,
wait for when he's about to come out. Of course, it's going to
I know.
be another story about it, but
Yep.
um,
Yep.
you hit it on the head. It was that black man making that noise,
Yes.
and and nobody had the backbone to say, you know what, forget this. We're gonna stick together. We're gonna stick together,
Yep.
and do what they do.
Yep.
But you know,
The good old boys club
you're right.
in the NFL.
Yes, you're right. I do see Shador, shining, and he will do what he has to do
Yeah,
um,
he's got to use
when he
this as
gets to.
motivation. He's got to be have a big chip on his shoulder
He's got to.
every time he takes the field. Yep.
So as we come to an end, I wanted to bring a little Caribbean flair to our usual
Yes.
ending. Um, so Peripheral Games just ended in Trinidad, which, of course, um, I kind of tuned in because they kind of carried it over on YouTube. Um,
Okay.
so it was nice. I mean, they had Jamaica, Bahamas, Trinidad, um, Antigua,
Yeah.
and our hometown, home island
Hmm.
was there. I know your second home island was there too. Islands were there too.
Okay.
And I just watched the difference, right, in total. So Jamaica ended up with 45 gold, 23 silver, 16 bronze,
Wow.
for a total of 84 medals, right?
Jamaica was representing.
The next closest
Ah.
was the Bahamas, who ended up with 9 gold, 13 silver, 13 bronze for
Wow. The Bahamas. I
35
wouldn't
medals.
expect them, but interesting.
And then Trinidad, who hosted, had 4 gold, 11 silver, 12 bronze, and top 4 would be Guyana with 4 gold, 3 silver, 2 bronze for 9 medals. And the rest of the islands come in. Guadeloupe had 2 gold, Virgin Islands had 2 gold, no silver surprisingly, and just 1 bronze.
Yeah. What about Dominica?
So we ended up with 1 gold. Um,
Okay.
and I'm going to shout out the young man. His name is Addison James.
Okay.
Um,
Big up yourself, Addison.
I mean, he clinched the gold in the boys under 20 javelin. And javelin's not a sport that I see, you know, big in Caribbean islands.
Yeah.
Just especially the small islands.
Yeah.
So it for me. Um, it was nice to see. I mean, he had a good throw too, 67.48 meters. And you figure he's under 20. Hey, can we get him strength training?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, and get this boy. But
That's
just on
right.
a serious note, um, it was a new national record for Dominica. Um, with that, uh,
Nice.
we had we had the boys. Um, we had a few man, uh, Jariah Lewis. He got his personal best in long jump,
Nice.
7.6 meters. Our 100 meter, we had one under 20, and she clocked 11.76 seconds. She came out in the semifinals with 11.76. These kids are starting to
Uh
go
huh.
faster. I see the women at some point going sub 10 in these
Well,
100
the
meters,
talent is
man. They
there.
are getting better and
Yes.
better
The
and better.
training is getting better too.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
lot of talented kids in the Caribbean, man.
Seen them this year and just watching uh, Dominica on just in the podium. I thought about Thea and how much she played a part in, you know, these kids probably wanted. I'm sure they saw how she was treated
Absolutely.
winning that first gold Olympic gold in Dominica. So I'm sure that motivated them more to come out there and try their best. So I just thought about that when I was watching over the week to see what was going on.
Yes. Thea is an inspiration not only to, to women, but to the
Oh
entire Caribbean, to going, to reaching the heights that she's reached
yeah,
and,
yeah,
winning a gold. It shows that we can come from a, little island in the Caribbean and still, accomplish our dreams. So big ups to Thea
yep,
Lafon for being an inspiration to the youths, to the masses. Much love.
yep. And with that, I know we got a game to go finish watch. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, our Lakers will have done something
Hopefully.
throughout the week, which will give us a reason to smile.
Hey, miracles
If
do
not,
happen, man. So I'm not giving up.
um, and hopefully you'll
That's
be wearing
right.
your purple and gold.
That's
You'll be
right.
wearing your purple and gold next week, and I'll be able to break out my shirt
You
to
know it.
and, and go from there.
You know it.
With that, everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for subscribing. Oh, Greg, we're going to have to give out a shirt, and I will get the name, and we'll announce it next
Yes.
week. Um, we had 10 downloads
Okay.
this week, which was it was a little late in pulling the names, but we had 10 downloads. So I just want to say thank you to all of you who downloaded. We're on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe, and I will leave the links at the bottom for Spotify and for um, iHeart and YouTube. So wherever you get your join us. All right, and with that, have a wonderful night,
Yes.
and we'll see
Get
you
their
next.
names. Tammy, I
Go
was
ahead.
saying get their names, get their email addresses, and you know, we'll send them some Genius Minds gear.
Genius Minds here coming your way next week. All
And
right.
always remember there's a genius in all of us. So find the genius within you. Peace and love.